Hello. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm back. I was out helping my sister with my mom. And so my other sister had to go away for a week. So I was helping out and now I'm back. So I hope everyone's doing well. And I wanted to just jump on and answer a few questions that I got through email. I get questions a lot and I try to include them in the readings that I do. And then of course we do our Thursday night every other Thursday. So we're get questions then, but every once in a while I'll get a few that I haven't really answered or they're just different kinds of questions. So I thought I would jump on and do a few questions. Just real quickly, I want to let you guys know that Debbie and I are we're just about done doing our finishing up the preparing our classes for the next session, I guess you'd say. If you took the beginning session, we're doing the next section with which is all on mediumship, and it's kind of just the intermediate course. And we are really excited. We think it's going to be really, really fun. And it's a really fun thing to do. It's a great way to learn. If you're interested in doing this and learning this, it's a great way to do that. And I get to meet everybody. And so that's fun. That's a personal, like just a selfish thing on my part that I want to meet everyone, but it is nice to meet people. So if you're interested, I'm going to put the link below and we would love to have you. It's 5 weeks long. Every class is 2 hours. We do exercises, answer questions. We practice, we do all kinds of stuff. So it's really a lot of fun. So I hope you'll join us for that one as well. And we're doing two consecutive, is that the right word? Consecutive sessions, but we're doing one, it's the same class. We're doing one on Tuesday and one on Saturday. So a lot of times, last time, a lot of people asked for a weekend day and we weren't doing one at the time, but now we're going to do it a Saturday. So a Tuesday or a Saturday, you could choose. Okay. And that's it. So I'm going to get to the questions. Somebody asked me to look at Tucker Carlson and his future, what's coming for him. And when we do this and we look at the future, what you're seeing, what I'm going to be seeing, what my guides will show me is where he is now and where the trajectory is heading for him. Things that are along his path at this time. Things could change. So like if he decided, you know what, I'm going to become a monk. I'm going to quit Fox. I become a monk. If he did that tomorrow, then everything would have changed. You could get a reading, 3 days from now and it would all be different. But most, we have a way that our life moves and our life kind of progresses. And unless we do something drastic like that, we can kind of see where it's headed or at least one of the most probable path that it's headed on. So I just wanted to make sure that that's clear and that people understand that it's not, that's why you don't have, and there's lots of reasons why, but that's why you don't have 100% accuracy when you're doing something future. Sometimes you get very close. You can get, 80% or 85%, but you'll never get 100% because we have free will, right? We have free will. So, and if he chose to clean up his act tomorrow, his future would look different. But right now, let's see where it's headed. Okay. So Tucker Carlson. Someone just said fire, but I think it may talk about being fired. Let go. Somebody just said let go. So he may be getting fired in the future. And this is for entertainment purposes only. This whole video is entertainment purposes only. just heard the I just heard the term major weeks. I feel like there's something that he may something may happen where he kind of spirals. Not like, spirals, like go, freaks out or anything like that. I just mean, like, how they have these, this is what I'm feeling. It's kind of like they have these things they get on where it's, you know, talking about nobody get vaccines or that kind of stuff. And then they keep on a story like that for a while, and that's their thing for a while, as they just keep talking about don't get vaccines and all the trouble with vaccines and aren't vaccines. So I feel like it's something like that, like something he gets onto and it unravels. It kind of brings him down. Um, it feels like it spirals downward, and they're saying within weeks, not from now. But what happens, it happens within weeks. It's a short period of time that that his career actually implodes. Self, something about self-protection. So I feel like it's almost I'm putting this together. So it seems like it's a storyline that he kind of gets onto, and it's to kind of protect himself. So it could be the Matt Gaetz thing. It could be a lot. I mean, with these people, it could be so many things, but that's where he's headed right now, is getting fired and kind of spiraling in some kind of way where he can't quite it almost feels like he angers the wrong people. He gets the wrong people really angry at him. And they're saying they have no choice. So I just feel like it's going to be either he angers a sponsor or a donor or somebody who has lots of influence, and that's it. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for Tucker Carlson right now. And when you build your career on being inflammatory and build your career on being shocking, it makes perfect sense to me. Eventually you make the wrong person angry at you, and you end up hurting yourself. So okay, so that's what I'm seeing for Tucker Carlson. Somebody asked if Biden is being guided by spirits in the big decisions that he makes. And so I'm actually seeing his son by him a lot, and something with the Kennedys around him as well. He prays a lot. I'm getting that he prays a lot. I wish we were live right now. I'm seeing him pray in like a chapel or a church or something that's in the White House. So is there a room or something in the White House? But I'm seeing him so either he literally goes to a room in the White House that's for prayer, or he's designated a room for prayer, because I feel like he goes to a certain place and prays. And he does this a lot. It's not like, I feel like it's like the beginning and the end of each day or something. It feels very regular. So he does have I'm getting like the ask and you shall receive, that kind of thing. So he asks and he does receive help. He doesn't always listen. He doesn't always recognize it as if it's not what he wants to do or not what he's inclined to do. He doesn't really listen to it. He just thinks it's doubts in his own mind and doesn't realize that it's actual help. They're saying some of this stuff with Afghanistan was there. It was there for him, but it's difficult because, and I don't want any Biden fans to get after me. I know that it's not nice to hear this, but they're saying that political figures in general, and particularly presidents, have big egos. They have a lot of ego, which, I mean, are we surprised? I guess we're not surprised about that, but not ego necessarily like I'm the best, I'm the greatest, but ego in that they do, there's an awareness of oneself that they're in kind of a protective mode, protective of their career, protective of their family, protective of the country. And that is ego. That kind of reflexive kind of action is ego. And so when you're in a position of power like that and so much responsibility, there's ego in that. And when ego gets involved, sometimes it's hard to hear that spirit side that comes in to try to navigate and help you navigate things. So I feel like they're saying like presidents in general can get caught in the trap of ego because they have all this responsibility on their shoulders. And, but they show him as being very plugged in, religiously, and very much in contact and there's a humility to it as well. So it's not for lack of trying. I really do feel like he reaches out. He tries to reach out. I do feel like his son is there. And I feel like he actually listens to his son more than he knows that he does. I don't know if he knows that's who he's listening to, but that is who he's listening to. And something with the Kennedys as well, because I'm actually seeing John F. Kennedy, Jack Kennedy around him. And I feel like there are several like governmental spirits that visit him, and I think this is for everybody. I don't think it's just him. I feel like this is a thing. We had the whole thing with Nixon trying to talk to Trump before. There's an old video that I did, and it was shocked me actually when it happened, but it's Nixon. Nixon was like following Trump around, talking to him. So I feel like certain personalities, when they walk into that space, because it is kind of it's a place of that a lot of important things have happened. And so there's an energy there. And I think certain personalities call in certain figures. So that's what I'm getting. There's definitely political figures around, but I'm feeling the Jack Kennedy thing very strongly. So I don't know if that's just someone he looks up to or thinks about or whatever. But that's what I'm getting right now. So, okay. So somebody wants to know about 9/11. Because I guess the anniversary just passed, and they're just asking if there's anything about it being, an inside job planned by our government, anything like that. So I'm gonna look at that and just see. So they're saying that it almost is like if you go back and go back and go back, you can see the thread of why it happened and what happened. And definitely the United States has responsibility in that. And so it's like, well, yeah, there's pieces that are definitely on the United States, but that the actual act was not planned by the United States in any way. It really was a shocking event. And there were, again, there were a lot of mistakes made. More tip-offs than we know, more like this could happen. I know there's that famous, daily briefing, that they're going to hit the building, but I feel like there's even more that maybe we'll find out about, but I feel like there's even more like tip-offs, more things they could have grasped onto. And I feel like they're diverted. I feel like they're looking over here and this stuff is happening here. So neglect maybe of what was happening, but also responsibility leading up to this, just in the world and that kind of stuff. It's so I feel like my guys are like, that's a complicated question. There's so many, there's a lot of ways you can look at this, and responsibility and who's responsible, and so basically nobody's hands are clean. But the actual event, the actual thing wasn't done by us. It was done by the hijackers and, Saudi Arabia, people that, were not in United States, involved in the United States. So I hope that makes sense. And I hope that I'm checking with my guys to see, like, did I explain that correctly? But it is like, there's just a lot, and it depends on how you want to look at it. But I hope that answers the question. Okay. Somebody asked also, will dark money come to light? Oh, okay. That's a big yes. And it's almost like it's already started. It's already starting to come out. It's already the beginning has happened. And I'm sorry, I know I've been told before, like, it's weird when you look up, or it's weird when you look over, but it is like, if someone said, hey, to you, and you kind of look over, that's the feeling, and that's the almost like what happens kind of to me. So that's why I kind of look up and over, and everything seems to be over here. I'm always looking over here. Sometimes I'll look up here, but a lot of it is like right here. So I hope that makes sense. So people comment on that, or they don't say it's weird, but they just are like, what's happening when you do that? So that's what's happening. I'll get into this kind of meditative state, and then I will hear something, pick up on something, feel something, and my attention just goes. So, okay. Making you part of the process here. Okay, so 1 second. It's already happening. Somebody's saying it's already happening. And the connection to specific people will come out. This doesn't feel like tomorrow. It feels like it's going to be a process in a while, but and I guess I can say this, that there's my angel light for you guys. It always goes on about this time. It feels like there's going to be something about like oligarchs and like specific money going to specific places. It feels a little complicated, but it feels like basically oligarchs sending specific money to specific people for specific reasons, is that kind of thing. So I feel like, yeah, the details are going to come out, and it's going to be a little bit disappointing, I guess. I just saw Joe Manchin. So there's something about, I think there's going to be some disappointed, people. Definitely, Republicans, Supreme Court. But feels like Democrats are also going to be kind of disappointed in some of the people that they've put some faith into. So, okay. So I hope that answers it. And I hope that makes people happy that it will come out eventually, because it definitely is a problem. It's just going to take time. Let me see if I can turn on the light to get some more light in here. All right. And the light stays on. Yeah, that's crazy. That's so weird. It comes on for you guys. It's for you. That's why that happens. It's not for me, because it doesn't come on for me normally. So it's just when I'm talking to you guys. So feel the love. Okay. Letitia James. Somebody wanted to know her motivations in the Cuomo investigation, if there's any like personal, if she's going to run for office, or if there's any personal motivations for getting rid of him. So I'm just going to ask about that. I sort of very loud no. She's very she's very committed to the law, very committed to the law, which is something that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But she is so much so that if you were her sister or her brother or her father or her mother, and you did something and she knew that like she would go after them. She's very, she doesn't do things for personal reasons. It doesn't play into it. It's more the, you did something wrong and now you have to go, be tried for it, or, you have to explain it, pay for it in some way. It's almost, it almost feels completely devoid of emotion. There's no emotion in it. And I think, you see this a lot with a lot of legal types of people, but maybe in this position, to be this like adamant and strong and precise and no emotion involved, it's all business, that maybe you're not used to seeing that as much with women. Because I feel like if this was a man, we wouldn't be asking this question or even looking at this. But that's how she is. She's very the letter of the law. That's it. She doesn't have there isn't any emotion in it, which is good. I mean, you want that in somebody, but if you're close to her, don't expect any favors and don't expect anything, So I hope that makes sense. So she's kind of a badass. She's kind of a tough customer, and she does not bring stuff to the forefront unless she has the goods. She just doesn't. She won't do it. Okay. And somebody wanted me to look at Michael Flynn. Someone just said a danger. It's weird because when I tune into his energy, the only thing like it that I've done is people with Alzheimer's, which is really weird because I don't think he has Alzheimer's. But the reason it feels familiar that way is because when people decline in Alzheimer's. And a lot of times when people are in the hospital, they'll say, my mama has Alzheimer's. How is she doing? Or what do you see? And that's why it's familiar, because it feels like that. It feels like a mental decline, but there's also some like anger and paranoia that's kind of mixed in with it, and confusion. And so it feels familiar like that. And I don't think he has all my Alzheimer's, but it feels similar in a way. So there is that kind of mental decline, but there's also a little bit of confusion, like because I feel like he sees things differently. Things are turned around for him. And I also feel like there's anger and paranoia attached to him. Not all the time when I look at Alzheimer's, but when I look at him, that's what it reminds me of. Or sometimes when I tune into Alzheimer's patients that are further down, further in decline, that's what it's like. There, you pick up on these little things, and that's what is there for him. But somebody said, he's a danger. He's dangerous because has these issues. So I'm tuning into all these issues, but then he also has some power, some people in government that he knows, some military people he knows. So he's a danger. I'm going to just kind of ask about anything coming for him. I just heard search and seizure. So I feel like right now maybe they might be in the process of getting materials from him or searching him in some way. Was he on the list of the phone records people? I can't remember who was on that list, if it was his brother, if it was him, but I feel like it's like they're in the midst of doing this, of searching and seizing his stuff. And I'm seeing things like police and scenes, like kind of like when Paul Manafort was taken to prison or arrested and things like that. It's weird though. I don't see him involved, but I see like stuff around. I see that kind of stuff. So maybe this is stuff that's kind of in the works right now. Lucy's hungry and Adam's cooking right now, so she's ready for dinner. And I promise you, I'm going to feed her as soon as I'm done. But dinner's not done yet, Lucy. So you're going to have to wait. Okay. So and Adam's cooking her favorite tonight, so she can smell it. Okay. But that's what I have on him. It's interesting. So there's definitely some police activity around him and coming for him. And there's also something about searching and seizing his stuff. So that's what's happening with him. And again, that feeling of like, what I explained. So, okay. And somebody asked me the question. I was asked, I'm thinking it was when I talked to Dave from Moonride. I think I did a thing on his channel. I think it was when I did that. They asked me a couple of questions about kind of more spiritual questions, I guess. One is, how do you feel safe? Why do you feel safe? Like our spirit, brothers and sisters, our spirit guides have our back. Why do I feel that? And the other one was, what happens to people that do evil things on the earth? What happens to them in the spirit realm? And of course, I don't have all the answers, right? But I can tell you what I've learned from other people that have maybe had NDEs or near-death experiences. I can tell you what I've learned through my own readings. I can tell you what has come through in my own, personal meditation sessions. I can tell you that. So the reason that I feel safe, and I think safe is a word that I guess I'm not talking about safety in like, I will never be, sick or hurt or anything, and nobody will ever be sick or hurt again. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that we have a level of cooperation with the other side. And I feel like they're so, and I feel like they're always involved with the earth, but I feel like right now there's something that's a little bit different that's taking place. And so I just feel they're very, very involved. I feel they're very much here. I also feel like there are people that are being born right now, and maybe like in the past 12 or 15 years, that are going to change the world, make it different. And I've gotten that message before, that it's like they're coming. That's how it feels. And I think, when we talk about safety, I feel like the other side has our back, they have an understanding of what is happening. And that doesn't mean another bad thing's never going to happen. And it doesn't mean that we won't have our own challenges and things that happen to us. But I feel like on a spiritual level, I guess, I feel safe because I know that this life is temporary anyway. This plane is a place of learning, growing, understanding, and experiences. So I think that it's more of a state of understanding that I have that makes me feel safe. And again, it doesn't mean, nothing bad ever is going to happen, or I think nothing bad is ever going to happen. That's not it. It's more of a state of understanding that the spirit realm loves us, cares about us, understands what we're going through, understands what's happening, and is doing the best they can to try to move us in a direction as a world. Like I said a long time ago, they want to help us not destroy the world. So they're going to do everything they can to make sure that the world survives, that mankind survives. And so I guess on a large scale, I feel safe. And I feel like when we go to the spirit realm, we go to the spirit realm, and then if we come back, if we want to. I mean, so I feel like there's a bigger picture here, and that we're safe in it. So I guess I hope that answers the question. And it's not, I don't want it to seem naive or Pollyanna-ish. I know what's happening on the earth right now, and I know how grim and how gloomy it can be sometimes. But I also know that this is a temporary state that we're all in, and there's things that are much bigger at play. That and I guess I have faith in that, but I also have firsthand accounts of how loved we are, and how much they care, and how much they want to help. And so it's for us to reach out and then do the work and stay in that peaceful place inside. So that's where I'm coming from. Okay. And then the other question was, if I can look at it, what happens to people that are evil when? And again, I'm going to ask the question because I would like to see what my guides say, but I can, okay, I'm just going to ask the question. So. Okay, so I just heard that. So everyone is held to account for their own lives and actions. Pretty straightforward, right? I know that, and it's interesting they put it that way, held to account, because we are our judge. we have guidance and direction, but I've seen over and over and over again in readings, in medium work, in anything, things that I've read, in meditation sessions I've done on my own. When we pass away, we go through a life review. We review our life. And when we review it from not only our experience, but how our words and actions affected others, and we feel what they felt. It's a way to help us learn and to understand the impact that we have. It isn't to come down on us. It's to say, see, this is how this works. And then we will say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. Oh my gosh. And I'm dumbing it way, way down, because it's such a big process, such an important process. If you go to the interview that I did with Christian Sundberg, he talks a little bit about this, about having come here for just teeny tiny life. He was just hadn't even been born, and he was a miscarriage basically, and he had a review for just that tiny little life. So you think about, that's also a reminder, right? Because we worry about the evildoers here, to quote George Bush, but the people doing bad things here. We focus on Donald Trump and people like that. But when we go to do our life review, they're not going to ask about Donald Trump. They're going to ask about you and me. They're going to ask about yourself. And so that's why I'm always talking about the fact that we need to, as much as we want to know about these things and make sure people are held to account and they stop doing bad stuff and those things, that's all very well intended, and we want the world to be a better place, but it starts with us. It starts with the individual. It starts with us. And so what is the the things in your own life, with your own relationships, you need to fix? What are the things you need to get right with inside? How do you get yourself to a peaceful place so that you can emanate peace and give goodness and love to the world? If you're miserable and mad and angry, Donald Trump, that's what you're giving to the world, right? And if you try to be kind and understanding and loving, that's what you give to the world. And so, that's what I can tell you, is that I know that for me, I know there are things that I've done in my life that were mistakes, or things I wish I hadn't done or hadn't said, and those things are going to come up in my life review. And I know that. And Donald Trump's going to have the same experience. Now, true, I didn't let a pandemic go through, the whole United States, and hundreds of thousands of people have passed away, but that's going to be his lot. That's going to be what he is going to have to witness and experience. They also have, though, a full picture of him and his life, right? We know certain things. We know what the public knows. We know what we know about him, because he lies all the time. So we really don't even know what we know. But there's a whole section of his life that helped him become what he is. And so they look at that as well. They look at it as a total and complete whole picture. And they'll help him to understand what he has done. He will feel it totally and completely. He will have full understanding of what he has done. And then he will have to come back and correct it, or some other way to kind of, and it's not even like he has to, he'll want to, because he'll be back as spirit Donald, whoever that is, spirit, whoever, spirit A, with the best intentions going to Earth and then mucking it up, and he will want to make it okay. So that's what I want to tell you guys. And I know that this stuff is hard to, when you watch the news and you just want to scream because people are not being held to account in the way we want them to be. It's hard to think of this stuff as, being pacifying us enough, because we want to see everybody be Michael Cohen, right? We want to see him admit what he did, go to jail, come out a new man. And, it's so satisfying, but not everybody can be. And there are some people that will have that experience. There are some people that will be held accountable, will go to jail and all of these things. And there will be people that for whatever reason, they don't. I don't feel like Donald Trump's going to be one of those people, by the way. I do feel like he will, I mean, he's being held to account now, right? He doesn't show it in the way we'd like him to show it, but we know that he's in financial ruin. He doesn't, he owes money everywhere. His grift is almost up. He keeps grifting from his poor supporters, and yeah. So it is happening. It's just in slow motion, and we want to see things happen like that because we're angry. We're angry about everything. So it's understandable. But that's what I have learned that happens to evildoers is that they get it. They get it. They'll understand it. And, again, in that interview that I did with Christian, he talks about a life that he had where he did a lot of damage to a lot of people, and didn't go into the specifics of it, but that he had to account for it and do better and come back and fix stuff, do better. And, this isn't a one-time go around thing. This is it's a whole process that I don't have all the answers for, but I can at least tell you that what I have come to understand is that we do have a life review, and we are our own judge, and we get it. We're made to get it. We're made to get it, made to understand it. But that would be my advice too, is that because of that, look at your own stuff. I look at my stuff all the time, and I am totally imperfect, but I work at it, and I try, and that's what I do. I can only tell you my own experience, right? So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are interested in doing our class, please do. We would love to have you. We would love it, love it, love it. Yeah, I hope to see you on Thursday night. I will have put out the reminder for our Thursday night powwow here that we have. And I will talk to you guys again. Okay, bye.